As you're aware, the album of the month for Billy Bob's Pocket Ska Album of the Month is Escape from the Zoo's Counting Cards, came out recently this year on Fat Records. I was lucky enough to be granted a Zoom interview with Jesse, which I'm about to segue into right now. Let me start by saying, fucking, I love that Escape from the Zoo. It's fucking amazing. You know, that new album is fucking great.
Thanks.
And I have been listening to all your music for a while now, and that by far is the best thing that you've done, in my opinion. It's fucking amazing. Right.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So I'm gonna start off by I'm aware of how you first got into music, right? Through your dad. He used to listen to punk rock back in the day. Tell me a little bit more about him, right?
Oh no, he's still. I mean, he's a music writer for the Houston Press. He just interviewed the singer of the Circle Jerks recently. So he's still very much in the scene, especially in Houston. Like he's at tons of shows all the time. Everyone in the scene knows him. A lot of times, like he'll get messages that are meant for me and vice versa because we have the same name. I have a middle name, but I don't use it on like the social media and stuff. So we're kind of interchangeable. But yeah, he's my idol, man. And he's like the one that got me into it.
That's awesome. And he took you to your first show back when you were what you said 12, I believe.
Yeah, man. I don't know. Whenever so my first show officially was Feel.
Yeah.
Like on some hill, like outdoor theater in Houston. But like my first punk show, my first show was Sum 41 at the Engine Room in Houston, which is a really small venue for Sum 41. Thinking back, so it was like must have been whenever Fat Lip was like getting big, whenever that was like, I don't know, 2003 or whatever, you know.
You are a really prolific songwriter. You have wrote quite a bit of material in your days, right? I'm aware of how you first started writing when you moved away to a boring college town, right? uh, when did you get that feeling that you were really onto something, right? Because I remember when I used to be in a punk band back in the day, and when you play music you get this feeling, and you right when you know you're playing something good. When did you first get that feeling?
I mean, I every time I play the guitar, whether it's a cover or something I write, I feel like it's good just because I'm making something, it feels good, to me to play. But I don't think I ever have thought or ever maybe will think that I'm playing something that other people are going to enjoy. So like, what's it called? The imposter syndrome is like heavy and ever present, and it's just something that I cannot shake. So like, no matter how good someone else may think something I make is, it's really, really hard for me to, I'll be really excited about making something, and I'll like show my wife and I'll show my family and like, the other kids in my bands and stuff. I never think it's like, oh my God, this is incredible. The world needs to hear this. It's just kind of like, I get excited over dumb little shit that I make.
But when we arrived, I found myself down at the bar, blackout drunk and seeing stars, while my loved ones all played board games by the fire. I did drink myself within an inch of death.
Tell me about how Escape from the Zoo first came about.
Oh shit. Okay, so Veronica and I got together. Was it 8 years ago now? I think our anniversary is coming up on the 13th. So yeah, I think it was like 8 years or so. And we just wanted to start a band together. We could do whatever we wanted. And I always wanted to have a punk band. We started Days and Days with the instruments that we used because we couldn't afford like drums and things. But at the time, when I met Veronica, she already had a mandolin. I was at the point where I could afford like, you know, an amp or an electric guitar, and then we had some friends that could play drums. And, you know, we just find a bass player and stuff. So we're like, fuck yeah, man, let's go. Let's make like the rowdiest, like fucking hardcore like ska punk shit that we possibly can, because we were like on a warpath when we met. Like both of us were just drinking like, you know, a gallon to stay okay a day, and just like it was, you know, it was gnarly. So yeah, we wrote like the first. I met up with Veronica in Washington State, and then we kind of parted ways, and I came back to Texas, and then she just like dipped out and came to meet me to go on a vacation with my family, who had never met her before. They were going out to Lake Tahoe, which is like one of our family like vacation spots, and we were just hammered the whole time. Regrettably, we've made up for it at this point, but like at the time, it was kind of a shit show. We were just like hammered in the woods the whole time, which is romantic for us, but a nightmare for them. Saboteurs, it's a Days and Days song, and it kind of came out of that, where I talk about going on a trip with my family and like totally fucking blowing it because I was fucking wicked alcoholic. But anyway, we came back, we all made amends, you know, we settled down, got our shit together, and then we met Onion, who plays drums for us. Elliot, who we've been friends with from We the Heathens, is a guitar player now and sings as well. And then Coy played in Robber's Juice with Veronica before I ever met her, and he was just a phenomenal bass player. So now we got like the all-star lineup.
Time it's socially acceptable, so chug it to your blind. Trade a dictionary for it, didn't really even speaking anymore. Far too hammered to articulate my words. Motivation's gone away and I can't remember anything.
Awesome. Tell me a little bit about the what you remember about writing and recording that first EP, the self-titled album.
Oh god, yeah, that was we were still very much on that warpath that I was speaking about. And it was in the closet that we always recorded all the Days and Days stuff in. It was just like an 8-track, and I kind of gotten my grip on like how to do acoustic stuff a little bit, but electric is so much different. Like especially with one like vocal microphone, get out of here. With like a full drum kit, it's impossible. So it's super lo-fi. It sounds super. I kind of want to go back and like re-record all the songs now that we know what we're doing, but it was really fun to do. I mean, we were all just like hammered drunk in one room, like holding a microphone at different parts of different instruments. So, you know, it was a good time.
Wasted years, slow albums buried on your times out there. Remember when we thought we were just walking leather up and down and down and all this going down.
And tell us about your EP, the Wasted Years, which I really appreciate that you re-recorded that and put it on the new album. That EP was awesome.
Thanks so much. Yeah, but again, it was just like some songs that I thought we could do a little bit better. And then like, of course, Wasted Years. I love that song, and I love, you know, what was going on in our lives when we recorded it the first time. I thought we could do it a little better. And it just seemed like the perfect time to do it when Veronica and I were going out to rehab in California from Texas, where I was like, let's just film the whole trip and then we'll re-record it for like our new album, and then we'll, you know, put all the footage together, and you know, it'll kind of match up with the poignant and kind of full circle. And that's that.
Killicopter. That's a fucking great album. I noticed that you the recording on it, well, you're getting a lot better at it. Did you do that one yourself too? Oh,
I did not. Our friend that works with Funk with a Camera recorded that one in her bedroom, and it's all live aside from the vocals. They had us just like set up, play the song all together, but like separated, and then do vocals and mandolin last. And I don't know how they got it to sound that like there's very little bleed for how close we all were, and I thought that was really impressive. But yeah, that was. I think we did that in like a week. It's like we all ran in and collapsed it out and got over it.
Try to be an optimist, but my glass always bone dry, so I gotta fill it up or get high to get by to just try to tiptoe the tightrope. This pessimism's a disease with depression and
then you did a couple awesome splits after that. The Skull Caster split, All Cops Are Bogus. Fucking, I love your 2 tracks off of that. The Crack Pipe and what was the other one? I'd click on it, but I'm gonna lose my page.
Was that it might have been a Cake cover. It's either Apologetic Paroxysm, maybe?
Yes, that's what it was. Right there, yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's a song that we've never played live, but I really, really like. I wrote that in like 30 minutes. So it's just like having a really fucking rough day, and you just need to like vent, and I wrote that one. But Crack Pipe is like one of my favorite songs that we've ever done, and it's advice for Days and Days also. Just recorded a different instrument because I wanted to feel like it had so much drive to it, like almost like a Weezer sound. That's why it's called Crack Pipe. It was like a play on Hash Pipe, as is the video. With like, we couldn't get sumo wrestlers, but there are some wrestlers from Houston that agreed to do it. That's why we're wearing like the black frame glasses and stuff. And I just wanted to hear what the different instrumentation would sound like, so we did it with Days and Days also. But yeah, Skullcast are also fucking amazing. They're also Joey Steele is like our tour manager for Days and Days on a couple tours, and he's in another band called Top Out. It is just fucking beautiful. Great band. And they have some new stuff on that.
We know of an ancient radiation that haunts dismembered constellations, a fairly glimmering radio station.
And then your next EP or split was with the Public Serpent, and I loved your fucking Cake cover on that. That was a fucking great cover.
That's where the Cake cover is. Thank you so much. Hell yeah. That's like Veronica's favorite band. And she was like, if we're doing Cake, I'm singing that shit. And she absolutely destroyed it. Just fucking killed that shit. So good. She does like the horns on it too and everything. I was so impressed. It's really cool.
Yeah, fucking great. I love Cake. That is one of my favorite Cake songs, and you guys did it perfect.
Well, thank you very, very much.
Well, we've been counting cards. We're fucking fed up, it's gone too far. We turned our backs on this.
Now tell us about Counting Cards, because I fucking love this album. Like I said when the interview first started, Counting Cards is fucking phenomenal. It has not left my playlist. I listen to it at least once a day.
Fuck yeah, man. I really, really appreciate that. It was I think it's my favorite time I've ever had recording anything, because with like Days and Days, I love those songs and I love that band, but it's mostly just me in a closet alone recording a bunch of instruments layered over everything. Like we have people play live, but in the recordings, it's just me playing everything aside from the trumpet and Whitney's voice. So it's kind of lonely. When we did Counting Cards, Elliot from League of Heathens and Doomscroll, our new guitar player, drove down from Colorado and spent like a month with us. And my parents were gracious enough to let us just like set up all this shit all over the bottom floor of their house. And we just spent a month like fucking around with sounds and like guitar tones and getting these songs exactly how we wanted them. And we had Johnny from Old Man Markley like mastering them and mixing them, and I guess Mike from No Effects just kind of overheard him while he was working on it and was like, I want that on Fat Wreck, and that's how we ended up on Fat Wreck. So it was all super incidental. So like the most fun I've ever had doing it. Most of the time we were just like fucking around playing like PlayStation VR in between like laying down guitar tracks and drum tracks and stuff. So yeah, it was just all really organic, really fun, just fell together somehow. And I'm glad it turned out to be something that you enjoy.
Yeah, it's fucking great. It hasn't, like I said, it hasn't left my rotation.
It's time to remove a piece of this puzzle that I put together with music and drugs. The drug part specifically, I know dependent on never become a what I want.
I just recently watched that you were on the Fat Mike's podcast about 5 months ago.
Yeah.
That was an interesting watch. I almost feel like he might have got you drunk and took advantage of you guys.
No. We were well drunk before we even showed up to his house. No. Yeah, that was a really, really good time. It's always a good time hanging out with Mike. And it was so cool because they wanted us to see like before we went to rehab and when we got out of rehab. And they were so supportive of, honestly, if it hadn't have been for going on his podcast, I would not have gotten sober because I was being such a piece of shit about it. Like I was so stubborn at, kind of as is my nature. I was like, we drove all the way out there and I was like drinking the whole time because it was like my last hurrah. I knew I was going in, for like 30 days. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get hammered. And I was like really reluctant. And I was like, this isn't gonna, I wrote a whole song about it, wrote and recorded a song about rehab and how it's not going to help me, but I still haven't released because I just don't believe a word that I said in that song now that I've listened to it, after getting sober. So, but, Mike got me there with the help of my beautiful wife, Veronica, I owe both of them and Astara, my, lovely partner, my life, man. If not for them, I would definitely be super fucked right now. I was not on a good path. Not that I had been before, but like I was heavy in it. So shout out to Mike, Sarah, of course, Veronica, as always. But yeah, Fatty saved us with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. He was very, very encouraging on that podcast. Very, very much so. Though I did find it ironic that the guy who wrote the song Shower Days and admitted during the podcast that he only takes a shower once a month was calling you dirty.
Hey, he's got to get his punches in where he can get them, I guess, right?
Yeah.
It's all podcast fodder. But yeah, it's all in good fun.
I want to end this with what albums have been in your current rotation lately? What have you been listening to lately?
Like top 5, top 3, was just whatever comes to my mind.
Well, see, as for me, when my album rotate like on a pretty regular basis. So in 3 months from now, I'm not going to be listening to what I've been listening to recently, right? So I understand most other people are like that too. What, like, just in the past couple months, what have you been digging on?
I'm kind of weird in that I don't really listen to whole records all the way through, and I don't listen to a lot of different music. I don't really listen to much music at all. I listen to a lot of like podcasts and like just like recipe things on YouTube because I just hear so much music all the time that it's like nice to just hear people talk, or just like ocean sounds and shit like that, soundscape. But like a few artists that will always stick with me and always get me fucking pumped and ready to go and do shit. Doomscroll, Elliot's new album, is just incredible. It's phenomenal. It's one of the greatest folk punk albums I think that's ever been made. Anything by Watsky, specifically Cardboard Castle, is just like so posy. It's like posy hip hop, but like, and posy can get a little cheesy, it like borders the line, but like this is so it straddles it perfectly, and it just makes me want to like get up and do shit. Let me see. Trying to think of like one more really, really good one. Turnstile. I don't know much about them, honestly, but someone just recommended them to me. They're like a hardcore band. I think that maybe they've been around for a while, but I have been digging them so hard, dude. Like it's like really getting me pumped. And it's like for hardcore, they have like a lot of different shit going on too. So it's really interesting to listen to, and I don't get bored with it. And it keeps me like fucking pumped. It's good, like, you know, you got to ride your bike to the store to get groceries kind of music. Like, you're not going to slow down. You're going to get to the store and get back real goddamn fast.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Don't ignore the voices. You're fucking worth it. The stakes are how you learn and not end up a shitty person.
How fucking badass was that shit? Okay, so a couple notes before I bounce off of this thing. One, I am aware that the name of the EP is All Cells Are Bogus, not All Cops Are Bogus, and I apologize for that. I also apologize for forgetting to bring up that Party Merger EP that they did with Shooting Czars. One more note, I would like to make it aware that if Fat Mike does watch this, I'm sure as he was watching it, he's like, well, fuck that guy. It was all really in jest, and I meant nothing by it. You know, I was just trying to come up with something humorous for the interview, and please don't take anything personal. And make sure to get yourself a copy of this fucking kick-ass album. Later.
Shit show would be calling it nice at this point. Your ambitions are too far gone. All I dream of is a life where you remember to give a shit.